If you're facing challenges with your mission to make a difference, or even knowing clearly what your higher purpose is, today is your chance to transform that forever. Learn the art of making money by making a difference with Nicola Grace, the mission mentor, self-help author, intuitive visionary, and creator of the master plan to achieve Mission Impossible. She's an award-winning spokeswoman with 20 years of traveling the world, teaching and spreading her inspiring message. Nicola implemented her 10-step master plan for an entire industry that was facing collapse to achieve what everyone told her was impossible. In 2008, she won an industry award for her role in the ultimate success of her campaign, and this personal mission of hers went on to make history. So please join me in welcoming Nicola Grace, the Mission Mentor.
Hey, good morning. Oh, it's good afternoon your end, isn't it? Hi.
Hi. So Nicola, uh, my first question for you is, you call the Mission Mentor. So what is the Mission Mentor, and why is it so important to pay attention to our personal mission?
Well, the Mission Mentor was really born after I worked with the natural health industry in New Zealand to help them beat back legislation that was going to close most of them down. And it was a mission. It was like I was on a mission. I felt really driven and passionate about doing that. And everybody was telling me, you know, this is a mission that you were born to do. And the word mission just kept coming up. So when I was looking at building my new business and my new platform around what I had achieved and duplicating that so other people could achieve those kind of results, it kind of it made sense to be called the Mission Mentor. And it also made sense because part of my purpose and my higher purpose particularly is to help find for people what it is they're here to do. So the sense that people have, there's something for me to do, or there's something else they should be doing, that's tapping into the idea that you have a personal mission, which is part of your overall purpose. But it's more the doing this aspect, whereas purpose is all about being, and it's more of the spiritual aspect of why we're here. And the mission is more the human integration of how we express that purpose and what we specifically do. And in my experience, both personally and also I've worked with over thousands of people now, helping them monetize accurately their purpose. It's finding that personal mission that gives us the greatest clues as to the direction we need to be putting you in towards creating that life of feeling that sense of fulfillment that you're on purpose, but also monetizing it. So it's very difficult to monetize the being aspect of your purpose. It's a lot easier, and it's a lot more easier to understand when we find the personal mission. It becomes almost evident how you're going to monetize your mission.
Well, okay, so you're the creator of the Mission Blueprint. Tell
Correct.
us, what is a Mission Blueprint, and how did you discover it?
Well, I discovered it in a haphazard way, really. I mean, after that success that I had with the industry, I then set out on an experiment to prove that because I was working with the undefeatable laws of nature, and a lot of the strategies that I implemented were working with the laws of nature, or also known as the laws of physics. I wanted to see if it was universally applicable to entrepreneurs, small business owners, campaigners, people who were changing career, people who were at home looking to, you know, what's the next direction in their life. And I wanted to see if it was universally applicable across the board. So I started consulting to a whole variety of different types of people in different times of their career. And what I discovered in 1 year, particularly over the year, is that there seemed to be this blueprint that would come out that would be very accurately mapping people from where they are now to where they need to be, and the key elements within their purpose and how to put it all together so that they could really find that place within their life where they're feeling fulfilled, but they're also working, making a difference, and where they get to make the biggest difference. and it's found on the soul imprint. Because I'm an intuitive visionary, that's part of what I do, so I get to see things. And I saw this in everybody. There wasn't one person in 1,000 people in a year that came to me and I did not see this mission blueprint.
So what are some of the key elements of mission blueprint?
Well, your mission blueprint, really, if you imagine the blueprint for a building,
Okay.
it's the structure of how the building's going to be and the sizes of the walls and how it all fits together. Well, our mission blueprint's the exact same thing for us, for our life. It's the structure and the foundation for building the best possible life that we could build and reaching the greatest potential that we have. Now, it is just a blueprint. As a builder and as human beings that have been granted free will at that spiritual level, we don't have to build the house. We don't have to build our life on that blueprint. We can build it however we want.
Right.
But if we build it however we want, what I found through having cancer twice, through constantly having the rug pulled out from under my feet, going bankrupt, losing a $2.5 million property portfolio, mega disasters in my life, I've discovered that if you build your life on something else other than that mission blueprint, you're not necessarily guaranteed to be successful. But as soon as you start discovering what that blueprint is and you start building your life on the best possible outcomes for you, then you get what I call soul power. You've got your soul interested in your life and giving you the power and the abilities naturally to actually make that happen, and things start to flow easier. You're definitely a lot happier. I mean, I get up really early in the morning, so I can't wait to start my day, and I'm really satisfied and happy at the end of my day. And so it all kind of fits together, and I don't have the rug getting pulled out from me. It's not that I don't have challenges, because I believe that's part of our expansion. We're here to expand. It's part of our soul's purpose. But I'm not having those disasters and everything that I'm working on just collapsing or turning to custard and going pear-shaped. That does not happen anymore, because I'm on that mission blueprint, and I get a lot of support now that I'm following that blueprint, and I'm building my life according to that foundation.
And you had told me a little bit about a meditation technique called the heart-soul connection. So would you like to share with our audience, what is that and why we would want to develop this connection?
Yes. Well, if we're wanting to connect to our mission blueprint, it's at the soul level. So it's at that level, like the soul, according to the dictionary, is the force that animates us. So it's the integrator between us as a human being and ourselves as pure spirit. So as that integrator comes in, it's animating us and it's seeking expression through us. So if it contains the blueprint for the foundation for the best possible life that we could have and all of the great outcomes in our higher potential, then it stands to reason we need to actually get in touch with that soul and then learn that soul blueprint. So, and that's an energy, that's a being aspect to ourselves. It's not like a spirit like Casper the Friendly Ghost floating out there in the universe. It's actually this presence within us. And so the heart-soul connection is what I've discovered is like the portal or the entryway to come into that presence and then be able to ask it questions. So you're asking your internal guidance system questions and get answers back that resonate with you, and you can begin to trust. You can begin to trust that the answers that you get are coming from a higher source. They're not just coming from the outer mind and all of the different things that you've got going on in your mind. So the heart-soul connection is that the intelligence of the heart. Scientists are now telling us our heart is our second brain. It contains intelligence. And it also is a doorway into our soul and connecting to our soul. So that's why I call it the heart-soul connection. So we're connecting to our intelligence, our greater intelligence that's based on love rather than ego, which is where our head's at most of the time. And then the wisdom of our soul to be intuitively guided and also to start to understand what that mission blueprint is for our life.
So, is it really hard to do this heart connection meditation? Because I'm really bad at meditation. I just can't quiet my monkey mind. It's like,
I know, monkey mind is the operative word there because I call them chirping monkeys, all of those ideas. And I don't know why I call them chirping monkeys because monkeys don't chirp, but that's exactly what it's like. You know, there's chirp, 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 and then they're monkeys because they're playing silly, silly games with you, you know. um, yeah, look, I have a technique that I usually take people through. It usually takes about half an hour to an hour to prepare yourself for it. But the very first thing you want to do is practice focusing on stilling the body rather than stilling the mind. Because when you focus on keeping still the body, it's a lot easier for the mind to focus and come into the stillness. Whereas if you focus to begin with trying to still your mind and trying to still the river of thoughts that are constantly flowing through your mind, it's almost an impossible thing to do, especially for beginners. So I always get people to start with building up from 3 minutes of just closing your eyes, sitting in a comfortable position, and focus on keeping the body still.
mm, keep the body still. All right.
Keep the body still. And breathing, right? You're breathing. You're not going to still your breath. You're
All
breathing.
right, right. Yeah,
If
of
you just
course.
keep the body still and you start with 3 minutes and you build up to 5 minutes and you build up to 6 minutes, then and so on, you will notice that by the end of your meditation, especially once you've built it up to 20 minutes,
Uh-huh.
that your mind is a lot quieter. It's stopped racing, the thoughts have slowed down, and then we have some ability to focus enough to be able to go through the guided heart soul meditation that I take people through in my mission blueprint formula.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So in the work, moving on from meditation, because I want to know more about like the work that you do with people discovering their purpose and their mission in life. So what do you see as the biggest problem people face when they're looking for their highest purpose?
Well, there's a number of problems, but the biggest problem is that they're looking for the wrong thing in the wrong place.
Mm.
So a lot of people are looking for a nice little statement that they can come out and say, oh, my purpose is to, water the flowers so everybody feels happy. It's like purpose is so much more involved in that because your purpose is everything about your life, from your self-sabotage patterns to what it is that you're here to do. Your personal mission is contained in your purpose. Your pathways, your life lessons, the natural talents and abilities you have, the expression modalities that best suit you for this life, because we all express ourselves in a variety of ways, as well as our higher purpose. And the higher purpose is that thing that we came here to do when we want to take that evolutionary leap in our lives. So not everybody lives up to their higher purpose. Most people are expressing some aspect of their purpose in their daily life, even though they might not think they are. But the higher purpose is where you make the biggest difference. It's when you wake up and you say, you know what, I want to mean something. I want my life to mean something. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be able to make a difference in people's lives, or I want to make a difference in the world. So as soon as you start asking those questions, as soon as you go, what direction can I go in? So I'm not just making money to pay the bills, I'm really giving into the community and giving back, making a difference. That's when you're starting to activate the higher purpose. You're starting to activate that journey to find what's the higher expression of you being on purpose. And within that is your personal mission. It's your personal mission that helps us monetize it so that you don't have to have the separation between working and being on purpose and making a difference.
Mm-hmm. Have you worked with people who did not, manage to find their mission blueprint?
Yes and no. I've over thousands of people, so I do one-on-one work with people to help them find their mission blueprint. I also do live seminars and workshops, and I do online tele-seminar classes so that I'm there guiding and mentoring people through the process. And there's only been one that didn't come up with their end result because they never completed the program. So my formula has 7 steps, and all 7 steps are necessary. So the first step is we've got to locate those expression modalities. How have you come here to express yourself? That's really helpful for us to know because it tells us a little bit more about your purpose and who your target audience might be. And then we locate your mission, message, and mojo, which is the monetization aspect of it. And the one person that didn't complete the formula stopped at step 4. Step 3 is having a greater connection to yourself, learning to connect to your heart-soul connection. And step 4 is removing resistance, because that's another problem that people have. In our ancient times, when people were on purpose, especially if they were living a spiritual life, there was a lot of persecution. And in some cultures, that still exists today. So if that's in your ancestral makeup, that's stored in your brain, because brain scientists are telling us 50% of the thoughts we store in our brain are not ours, they belong to our ancestors. So that's all there, and they can act as blocks from you even connecting. So if you're not willing to come up against the resistance and go through the resistance so that you're free of the limiting beliefs that you've got there, then you don't get to the other side, because as soon as you get to the other side, sort of your mind starts going off like popcorn and you start realizing things that have always been there for you, but they've been blocked. And this one particular person got to the point where she didn't think that she was resistant, and she didn't need any clearing. She was free and clear of any blocks, and all she did was like that every 15 minutes we'd have to leave the workshop to go outside to smoke, because she was a addicted chain smoker. So that was her choice. I acknowledged that and I honoured that. But everybody else who's been through the program, goes through all 7 steps, comes out at the other end with really clear direction on how to go forward. And then it's a matter of coming into self-confidence and coming out of self-doubt, because a lot of people find that it's really big and it's too big for them, and who are they to be able to do this thing that they really feel they need to do. And that's so therefore I have ongoing mentoring programs to help them over that hurdle, because that's another big catching point for people when they're on purpose. They have these brilliant dreams, grand ideas, and they're really passionate about something, but then those chirping monkeys step in and they go, who am I? And then their family tell them, who are you? And they have self-doubt that that's actually what their purpose is, when in fact it is. It's just that their next hurdle is overcoming that self-doubt.
Now, the resistant part, I still am like coming back to the resistance, but how do you know you're not resistant, and how do you know you are? So I'm just...
Yes, it's a good question. It comes down to self-awareness. If you don't have self-awareness, you're not going to know that you have resistance, and you're going to be in denial. And that's one of the techniques I teach for people around that is look at the feedback you're getting from your friends and your family. If they're telling something about yourself that makes you feel dreadfully uncomfortable and you don't believe them, but more than one person is telling you that, that's an indication you've got resistance and you're just not aware of it. If you do have a certain amount of self-awareness, one of the key things that you can identify resistance at is procrastination. If you're procrastinating on doing something, you're resisting something, right? And that could be for the good or it could be for the bad. You might be resisting going down the wrong path, but at the same time you could be resisting something really fantastic. So procrastination is the key one. And the other one is tiredness and lethargy. It's like, falling asleep like that. I see that a lot.
Falling asleep.
And it's like, yep, no good. And then I'm there to just help them push them through that, because that's a good sign. It's not a bad sign. It doesn't mean I'm boring. It means you're coming up against something and the ego's kicking in. It feels threatened for its survival, and so it's like anesthetizing you so that you fall asleep and you don't discover what's behind that resistant wall.
Mm-hmm. So I know you have given you have a free gift for our audience today, and it's actually on the web page that people are watching this live hangout on. So it's on the image of click here, and that will take you to the free gift.
There, which way?
Yeah, I know. Like click down there on the picture. So so Nicola, would you like to tell us about this free gift so that people are inspired to click?
Sure, it's a video training series that leads up to a live class online with me, which is kind of a workshop. We're going to workshop some ideas together, so you actually get to work with me. It's not just me. I do a lot of talking and teaching, but we also do some practical exercises. And it's all about learning the 7 steps to finding your purpose and your best path to prosperity. What we're doing is we're starting the process of gearing you up to be able to connect with your mission blueprint. And so what you're going to learn is a technique to begin to discover what is the primary way that your soul wants you to express yourself in this life, because that's going to help us give you clarity in life direction. And then I talk about your mojo, start connecting you to your mojo, which is found through your personal mission, and that's that place in you where you've got something here to do, and when you step into it, there's a natural ability and power that's going to come to you to help you achieve it. And the most important thing is it puts you firmly in the marketplace as being irreplaceable. You can't be made redundant, because like a fingerprint, nobody else has the same mission blueprint. So even though you might be in the same niche or doing something similar to other people, you've got such a unique slant on that, because it's your mojo, nobody else has that mojo, that makes you, like I said, irreplaceable. And therefore, as the market shifts, and we do have a shifting economy, we're shifting into a heart-centered, relationship-based economy. So whenever that economy does shift, there's always going to be a place for you to keep working. You're not looking at, not being able to, you're not looking at your skills being made redundant, as many people around the world today are finding their skills are being made redundant and they've got to re-educate. And then the third one, I talk a lot more about the resistance and how your brain stops you from finding your purpose in the first place, and then receiving rewards for the work that you do. So we're looking at the money blocks as well, and that's video 3. And then in the live class, I pull it all together, go over all 7 steps, and we start workshopping some of the ideas that I've been teaching. So click here now to get that series. At the moment, there are 2 videos up there, so they're both one's 15 minutes, one 12 minutes. I've kept them really action-packed, and because I know people are really busy. So within a half an hour, you could already be on your way to finding a little bit more clarity on which direction to go in your life.
Well, if people just really know that they resonate with you and want to work with you, jump right into working with you, can you tell us a way of how to do that?
The best way for them to jump right in and work with me would be to contact you.
All right, cool.
This is your show. If they contact you and say, hey, I feel like I want to work with Nicola either one-on-one or do her tele classes, if they contact you, and then we'll look at how we can make that happen for them.
All right. That's wonderful.
And sign up for the free gift, most definitely, because I always like people to go through that initial training.
Yeah, definitely. It's very powerful. Do you have any final advice that you want to give to our audience today, as we're going to close up soon?
Sure. Look, I do, and I've worked with thousands of people now, and I guess what I want to say is it's more inspirational, and that is, it is true that there is greatness within each and every one of us. There isn't anyone that does not have that greatness. And it's up to us to decide whether or not we want to key into that. So always remember that there's greatness within you because the divine lives within you. That intelligent, creative energy that's created everything is within us. So therefore, there's nothing that you can't do. There's no purpose that's too big for you. You can always grow into it, which is what I had to do. What I didn't just sort of overnight become, this. It was an evolution. And so have the confidence that no matter what your big dream is, no matter what is that thing that you really feel that you want to do, and that you can do it. There's no reason why you can't do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending time with us and for just inspiring us.